just mind include your audio
That's
and
done, mate.
then nice. Let's wait for the announcement and we'll begin. Yep, I think the announcement is up. And that should be it. Right, well, hello everyone and welcome to the FPRL Formula 2 Season 2 Championship. We are on round 8 of this championship. To be a very, very quick introduction because we've got a one-shot qualifying this evening for tonight's sprint and feature race for the British Grand Prix. And joining me in the commentary box is not Silverside Boy this evening. He's in fact in tonight's field. Joining me is the lovely dual Scottish voice of FPRL Scotsman. And he's very happy to see you all. So as we said, one-shot qualifying.
I meant to pipe in there, but I really couldn't hear none. All I could hear was the engine screaming on my headset. I'm trying to adjust the audio. So, welcome everybody, and I hope you have a good time. Enjoy the race, and I hope there's a chosen few out there that bin it. Yeah, I won't say any names just yet, but I will put the commentator's curse on very soon.
See, very new to the commentary box, but also does have a way of getting used and getting around everything as quickly as possible. And that is the goal for our drivers this evening. Get around the Silverstone track as quick as possible, and the final race, or shall I say the final event of our FPRL return to Britain. If you didn't check out the Tier 2 race last night, it was absolutely mental. A constant back and forth tussle between the Red Bull of Junuvane and the McLaren of Snedden. And tonight in the Formula 2 field, here's hoping we have a few more battles on track, and as we see approaching the final sector now, we've got Collateral Ads, Revengezilla and Shadows in the top 3 places so far. And the format for our Formula 2 grid is the top 10 will be flipped over for the sprint race this evening, as Ball is retired, so that means they'll be starting last in both races. That's not ideal for our reigning race winner. But as we round the final corner now with CTX, who's currently in sprint race pole, we will have a look at our standings, and it looked like Crosstoday took the fastest lap, and I think David Lawface was up the order as well, Scotsman.
It looked like he was there, but he disqualified, didn't he? So he must have cut a corner somewhere.
And there we have the full order. All of our drivers starting on the medium tyres. I know one person's disappointed that they went round to that. Unlucky Biddle. And we see there Crosstoday taking pole by 1,000th of a second from Tornado in second. And then we have Collateral Ads and Shadows at the same margin on the second row. Wow. I've never seen that before in all my time in commentating and in lead racing in general. So, for our feature race this evening, it will be the Irishman of Crosstoday alongside Tornado in desperate need of points in this championship. They will be in the front row for our feature race, but for the sprint race this evening, it will be CTX on pole ahead of the MP Motorsport of Ashe. Well, certainly a lightning start to
that
tonight.
Top 5's looking close, man.
It was very, very close, yes.
Holy shitballs.
Here's hoping for more of that in the first of 2 races this evening, an 11-lap sprint race. Of course, the sprint race, you do not need to make a mandatory pit stop, unlike the feature race, which will follow. So, a quick hello to everyone in the stream. Hope you all, as Scotsman said earlier, hope you will enjoy the evening ahead. And here's hoping that Silverstone produces even more frantic racing, and here's hoping that no driver has to suffer the heartbreak of a tyre failure 3 laps from the end of the race.
Is that still too soon, is it, to laugh about that, mate?
Indeed it isn't. I've gotten over that, and here's hoping we bounce back stronger next week. But that's for the main tier race, and tonight is all about Formula 2. So as we await for the not for the commentary team. Well, for the commentary team to say that the countdown for the lobby should not be up, do not ready up before the lobby host.
Can I ask, mate, see on the F2 League, because this is my first time commentating this, just standard setups? There's no setup or anything like that, or are they allowed custom setups?
I believe they are allowed custom setups like the main tier races. And on the subject of Formula 2 League, we might actually have a look at our standings so far after last time out in Austria.
I'll see if there's anybody in the chat, but no one yet.
Anyway, so for our standings after last time out in Austria, we've got Brüchemann on 159 points, leading Shadows in second place on 121 points. And as the countdown begins, we'll run through the top five in our standings very quickly. We've got the Irishman of Crossbury in third on 118 points.
Crash.
Then we've got... Don't you have to get that dig in there? Then we've got Tornado falling down the order a little bit on only 98 points after leading the championship in the opening rounds, and Revengezilla in fifth on 89 points. And then in sixth place we've got our reigning race winner Bolly, who starts from the back of the grid for tonight's sprint race. As we get underway for the formation lap, we'll have a look at what tyres everyone is running, and Revengezilla and Collateral Ads have came to blows before they've even got down towards turn 1. That's not an ideal start, so enjoy the cold tyres, all of you. So...
So for the sprint race, it's reversed the top 10, and then the feature race is going to be as the sprint race finishes.
Indeed, that's half right. So for our sprint race, the top 10 from qualifying have been flipped. That's why you see Crossbury and Tornado in 10th and 9th. But for our feature race, it will take the qualifying results from the one-shot qualifying session and put them to the main race.
Right, cool.
So, as we see now our drivers going around the Luffield corner now, I'd like to ask Scotsman if he can take us through the grid for tonight's first race.
From 16th. So 16th we have...
From 16th upwards.
Well, Bally, then we have Bidley in 15th, FPRL TS9 in 14th, David Lawface in 13th, Diamond Douche in 12th, Monkey Boy Kurt is in 11th, Crosskerry is in 10th, Tornado is in 9th, Collateral Ads is in 8th, then we have Shadow in 7th, Revengezilla in 6th, Lexus is in 5th, don't know the other name, Poya?
Hoya, yes.
And then we have the young Silverside boy, Crash, in 3rd.
Wow.
And then we have Ashy in 2nd, and CTX7 in 1. In first place. Yeah, I think this is actually going to be quite good for like Crosskerry and stuff like that to try and get through this pack here.
Indeed, always a bit of enjoyment and also a bit of a risk for our sprint race, having the quicker qualifying runners in the midfield. And a quick mention in the Twitch chat, a good evening and hello to Blunt Blade, saying, "Hello guys, good luck for the race tonight." You're in luck, mate. We've got 2 races tonight, so could be double disaster or double delight for one of our drivers. And of course, I should mention as well, Brookyman, our championship leader, is not here tonight. Clearly thought he'd done enough work in the Tier 1 race around Silverstone. He doesn't need to show up for the Formula 2 race. But I suppose on the run of... Crossbury has been disqualified. But I suppose on Brookyman's current form in the Formula 2, he might want to give others a chance at victory. As we'll get a somewhat decent camera angle here for the start of tonight's race. The first race, our sprint race, 5 lights ahead of the drivers. And we've got a few cheating sods, a long pause there, a couple of jump starts there from Revengezilla, and I believe that's from Lexus, who's miles clear into turn 1. Revengezilla up in second with CTX and Ashy. CTX in a bit out of line there, and double jump on board with Silverside Boy.
T-Bones,
Tornado and Shadows. Tornado and Shadows have took each other out, and in turn Bolly has been a bystander in all of that, and that has been a horrible start for the Hammer. They've been eliminated from qualifying, and they're eliminated Indeed, good night for the Hammer, down in 16th and will not be storing any points in this race. But Lexus leads them around Woodcut and Luffield now, ahead of Revengezilla, but the top two carrying the drive-through penalty for their jump start. So Ashe currently takes the net lead of the race, with CTX in second. Poya on a good run of form after Austria, still in the net podium places in third. Then we've got Collateral Ads in sixth, running the net fourth. Crossdale down in seventh, Silverside Boy eighth, Diamond in ninth, and Kurt in 10th, all over the back of the ART.
CTX just got a good exit there out of Maggots and Beckett's.
So we'll jump up to the Trident of CTX, just not close enough though to Ashe to make the overtake. We'll look for the switchback though on the exit of Stowe, as both Lexus and Revengezilla will take their drive-through penalty. So that now puts the order as it was. So Ashe leads them around the Vale chicane to complete lap 1 of the 11-lap sprint race with only a 3/10 of a second gap, as Poya in third, Collateral Ads in fourth, and Crossdale in fifth. But we've seen as well though, there's quite a few close battles in the order.
The first four are quite
Crossdale,
close.
the Crossdale getting a little bit detached from the lead group, but getting heckled by Silverside Boy. And a move further back potentially, TS9 and Biddle having a look at trying to get past Kurt in the Carlin, currently in the final points position for our sprint race. The top 8 scoring points in tonight's race, and looking as well in the Twitch chat. But I will have a look at this battle though between Diamond and Silverside Boy around Woodcut and Luffield now. Diamond to the outside, the Tier 3 Championship leader heckling the Tier 2 Championship contender, and in the end the contender does beat the leader. But that's now going to allow Kurt to get a good drive out of Luffield and possibly having a look in towards tops, with too wide here between the Carlin and the ART. Diamond forced a little bit wide there against Kurt, but in the end he does hold that place in Tornado.
Time penalty, and Collateral's just about to
that.
Oh, is he? No. Oh, he nearly crashed into the back of Poya there.
The Scotsman clearing that up there. A 3-second penalty for Tornado, and Collateral Ads heckling all the time, but CTX almost pushing Ashe around Stowe, and further back Kurt having to defend once again from Diamond, and Diamond's now having to... Yeah, he's having a bit of a moment there, and a bit of contact there, a bit out of shape. That's allowed Kurt to go very wide there, going around the chicane, getting clobbered all over the curb, and Biddle and Silverside Boy have said thank you very much for that. And Tornado, what's happened? Oh, they've retired in the pits. So it seems like that 3-second penalty was enough to ruin their race. But we'll look up to the front now, with CTX and Ashe almost being pushed by the Trident, and with DRS enabled, I get the feeling here that CTX will not want to waste any more time, but gets a poor run going through Aintree. That's going to allow Poya to get right behind the Trident. But Ashe, the DRS pull is too much to try and defend against the Trident, but Poya in third, looking to try and exploit any mistakes at the front. But CTX to the inside of Ashe, going through Woodcut. Oh, contact!
I've just seen that. Collateral Ads was sort of just turning the corner, and Poya had just turned in just that one wee bit too much. Clipped the front corner of Collateral Ads. Let's see if he's got any damage. No, it doesn't look like it.
So Collateral Ads, no damage, but Poya, it's going to be all about damage limitation, down to 11th place.
Collateral Ads is totally sniffing Crosscarry here.
He does, but he is carrying in-plate damage.
Oh, he's got...
But with the DRS pull to the outside now of the Irishman, those Collateral Ads want to make amends for that disaster in Austria, having that fight with Brookieman, where Codemasters decided that the connection would go kaput. But Collateral Ads now looking to put his car up into the podium, and indeed he does. Even with front wing damage, he does find his way past the Irishman, and now...
Where did they pick up the right side of the wing damage?
I don't know. I think it might have been from an earlier collision.
Because it was the left side that just clipped with Poya.
That'll be another decision for topic for another day, I think.
Yep.
But the top two now, with this fighting between Collateral Ads and Crossity, have escaped the DRS range of the third place driver. Silverside Boy in fifth, being heckled by a good friend of his, Biddle. We all both know in the Tier 2 championship that these two do love a good scrap, both on track. But Kurt and Diamond, this is really where the main fight is for 7th place. Diamond almost a little bit stuck behind the Carlin here, he just can't get past, even with the DRS pull. And Kurt defending, but only just, and not having that DRS pull is going to be a massive disadvantage against Diamond, isn't it, Scotsman?
Yes, definitely. And in the chat, we've got Tornado saying that he's been hit by ads, so that's how he's no longer in the race. So I never caught it on my stream or that anyway. So I'm just hoping you know the script, mate. Clip it and send it to the stewards.
Indeed, that's all he can do. But Silverside Boy trying to find all he can do. DRS, slipstream, and he just can't quite get past the Irishman, who's starting to get a little bit detached here from Collateral Ads. And also, on the topic of what Tornado has said, that could explain the wind damage that he's picked up from the earlier collision. But up at the front, CTX starting to get a bit of a gap ahead of Ashy in second. Collateral Ads slowly reeling back in that MP Motorsport to get within the DRS range of them. Crossity in fourth, Silverside Boy still in fifth, but Biddle looking to get a little bit closer. Indeed, he's getting a little bit close there to Prema, the newest driver on the field, and Poya getting past TS9. Indeed, but Diamond's had a few problems as well. He's dropped down to 11th as Lexus picks up a time penalty.
He's just overtook Lawface. Well, he's overtaken.
Diamond, I'm not sure.
Side by side.
We'll have a look here. And I think Diamond has dropped back past David Lawface up into 10th. So, but I don't know what's happened to Diamond, having to drop down the order. And we've seen as well Poya recovering well to back up into the points in 8th place. And a quick break in the stream to mention as well.
Oh, they're going into Maggots and Beckett's side.
them.
Oh, I thought they were going to stay side by side there.
Thought about it, but I think David, the wiser head, has backed out of that.
He's too
But
wise,
Biddle
that David.
is. But Biddle, full frontal charge and assault on the Prema. A bit late on the brakes there. He's thought about it, but he's just not close enough to stick that nose of the ART up the inside. But up at the front as well, CTX getting reeled back in by Ashy. So I'm wondering, a few cooldown laps for the MP Motorsport to mount another charge. And also looking at the Twitch chat as well.
Oh, TS9
massive
has
thank
just
you.
picked up a 3-second time penalty, and we have somebody off.
Oh, Poya's off. Poya's off at the final corner, and that charge has been halted. Halfway through the sprint race here in Silverstone, lap 6 of 11. CTX still holds the lead ahead of Ashy, but that DRS threat is looming large for CTX. But Crossity now back within the DRS range of Collateral Ads. A purple sector of 1, but he's just not close enough to the high tech. Maybe looking for a switchback here through Luffield. Just not close enough. And now we'll try again, looking at the Twitch chat as well. Tiddlewink subscribing with Twitch Prime. A massive thank you to Tiddlewink. And Blunt Blade giving a tier 1 sub to Ash. A massive thank you as well to Blunt Blade. Of course, September. All Twitch subscriptions are 20% off, and all funds will go towards the league and future investments. So massive thank you to both Tiddlewink and Blunt Blade for the subscriptions. Indeed, back to the race, and Collateral Ads being heckled by the Irishman. To the inside now, goes Crossity, Collateral Ads to the outside around, still the wider line for the high tech. It's just going to run him out of road, and Crossity back up into the podium places. And movement further back as well. Biddle and Silverside Boy getting into a little bit of their own fight, and Silverside Boy picks up a 3-second penalty. Just ran a bit too wide around Vale, and that is really ruined his fight with Biddle.
Tight on cross carry again still. I thought he was going to try and take the inside line there. The Hamilton Verstappen type of corner.
Indeed, who will give in first to all of their fights in the end? So although the top sits in a little bit detached from the order as Lexus sets the fastest lap of the race so far, so takes away the fastest lap points at the end of the race. We've seen as well the advantage the DRS pool has on everyone here. Ashy is keeping up with CTX, just isn't close enough though. Collateral adds two who are on board with, almost pushing Cross today. A bit of a ding-dong fight here between the Trident and the High-Tech over that final podium place. And Silverside Boy finally a bit further clear now of Biddle, but that 3-second penalty is going to ruin him towards the end of the race. We'll jump back up to the front though. We've not really spectated the fight at the front for quite a while here.
I'm still on it.
The opening exchanges.
Lads is all over it. Oh, I think, oh, is he? He's going to get him here. He's got to get him here. Yep, it's too wide. Don't know what that corner's called, but he's overtook him on that one.
Up at Stowe, Clark Lads does get the move back on Cross today. This is really where the main fight is, and further back as well. Diamond back up into the points in 8th, just getting past TS9, and Collateral adds, no! Hoya as well, both drivers with 3-second penalties. And now Cross today, so
kicking his cell.
He's Cross today with the biggest drench Jeremy Clarkson-esque smirk now with that 3-second penalty to Cross today. Well, Collateral adds, excuse me, and now Cross today can just take his foot off the gas a little bit, just keep within that 3-second window. And as well, Biddle as well, I think, upon hearing that news, is also in a similar boat to Cross today. As long as he keeps within the 3 seconds of both Silverside Boy and Collateral adds, Biddle's making up 2 places here in this race.
Yes, things holding in there. He's actually doing alright.
Indeed, sticking to the back of Diamond is TS9. We actually haven't spectated TS9 for quite a bit, and I think amongst all of our races so far.
He's got
so
a 3-second penalty right enough, but he's actually doing no bad.
We'll give credit where it's due. TS9 didn't have the best of luck in Mexico, but he's bounced back strong here across the last few races. But that 3-second penalty and running over the curb there.
That's how you get the 3-second penalties, my man. You cut that
is how you get those warnings. But he's sticking to the back of Diamond here. He's not going to give up without a fight here and show that, okay, I might have a 3-second penalty, but I can still beat you on road. But Diamond defending that attack well, but TS9, Diamond defending to the inside. I don't know why I said it like that, I do pardon that. But to the inside and now to the outside of the Vale chicane. TS9 just can't quite get past the ART. On lap 9 now of 11, just 3 laps left to go. CTX pulling away from that DRS window of Ashe. And now Collateral adds getting back into that window, and TS9, that has definitely ruined their race. They've got a second 3-second penalty. So Diamond now has surely won this battle.
Shadow started catching up. He's caught up behind TS9 as well.
Indeed,
I think just with TS9 and Diamond Duchy maybe having that little battle.
Oh, TS9 defending very early to the inside there. Down the Wellington Straight, now through Woodcut and Luffield. I think here he's letting Shadows through. I don't think he wants to ruin Shadow's race here, because despite these 6 seconds in penalties, he's been a little bit lenient there. He's not fighting it too hard, because he knows at the end of the race he is going to lose the place.
The 6 seconds. And I mean, if he fights Shadow too much, then he might lose it on Poya. So he needs to try and just gain that another 3 seconds anyway on Poya, which is going to be hard.
Almost pushing Shadows there though is TS9, and we'll stick with this fight for now. But up at the front, Biddle has got past Silverside Boy. They two don't at it down towards the Vale chicane, but Diamond is holding off the threat of Shadows and TS9 for now, and just 2 laps left to go over the line as Kurt gets a 3-second penalty.
So
but he does have that barrier, and David down in 12th. That's kind of putting a bit of I don't really know what to call that analogy, but Diamond letting off the throttle there. We apologise for that. A bit of background noise there. I'm going to have to leave the broadcast for a quick second.
No worries, mate. I don't know who you're viewing, so it's not like I can commentate on anything, but Clara Lads is still tight on Ashy. Oh, they're too wide. Too wide. Oh. Where the heck are they? Oh, oh, Clara Lads has took him. He's still got that 3-second penalty though.
They're still going wheel to wheel though, up towards tops, but Ashy does let off the throttle, and Collateral Ads, even with that time penalty, has showed his true pace in this race, and he's up now into second, and Crosstery now looming large in Ashy's mirrors. But Biddle as well, we mentioned as well, Biddle did get past Silverside Boy, and kind of a worthless fight for that because Silverside Boy is carrying that time penalty. Kurt running a very lonely 7th, and he should stay 7th unless anything happens up at the front. And actually Shadows, he has dropped past Diamond. We saw that just before. I did have to mute my mic, I do apologise for that. But Shadows, Diamond did let off the throttle going in towards turn 1, I believe that is Farm Corner, but in that's now meant Diamond is out of the DRS range of Shadows. And further back as well, Poya getting past TS9, so Poya having a bit of a yo-yo race, getting up into 8th, falling back to 12th, and has now found themselves back in 10th, but that time penalty isn't going to help their cause. But in the final lap of this race, CTX leads them away by 1.5 seconds, just going down the Wellington straight now. Collateral Ads in second, but it's going to be a net second for Collateral Ads after time penalties have been applied. Ashy in third, very late on the brakes there, just about gets it in check and slowed down. And Crossery in fourth, and Crossery as well, another driver who's made quite a bit of a habit of just getting on the podium when it matters. He's been doing it consistently throughout this campaign, and that is why I believe at the end of this race he will find himself in net second in the championship. Oh, Ashley's very wide there. Speaking of net second, Crossery will find himself in second place at the end of this race, unless anything goes drastically wrong towards the end. And also Biddle getting past Ashy. What has happened to the MP Motorsport? What's happened? He's had a bit of a collision there with Silverside Boy.
Let's see.
And that's now allowed Kurt to get right behind him as well. So Kurt, from absolutely nowhere, could steal 6th place at the end of the race. Crossery will take second away from Collateral Ads.
Fuel, I think. He's out of fuel.
Oh no!
Oh, he's out of fuel.
Ashley's fell down the order. But don't know, but CTX up to the line. The newest winner in the Formula 2 series, CTX wins in Silverstone and makes it a Trident 1-2 at the line with Crossery in second. Biddle from absolutely nowhere steals the final podium place for Collateral Ads in fourth. And Ashy, what has happened to them? I think they might have actually ran out of fuel, you know?
I think he was out of fuel.
He has! We see there on the telemetry, his fuel light is flashing like
But so is Collateral Ads. So is Biddle's. Everybody's is. But he was going so slow. Right, get in the chat and try and find out.
Oh dear, what has happened there towards the end of that race? But we're seeing as well though, Silverside Boy having that collision with Ashy, that'll probably get sent to the stewards. But Ashy will take 5th at least for now, with Kurt in 6th after running 7th for pretty much most of the race. Finds himself getting an extra point for that. Silverside Boy will take 7th, and the final point in the sprint race will go to... Actually, it does go to Kurt, so Shadows takes 6th, Silverside Boy in 7th, and Kurt will take 8th, with Diamond in 9th and Poya finishing in 10th, but does steal the fastest lap points away.
Ashy's in the chat, he says, don't know where I picked up another penalty, never displayed on my screen, but as you came round, what's the second last corner, at the end of the hanger straight, as he came round there he went very, very wide, so I'm wondering if he maybe picked it up there.
have a look at the race director actually. Fair enough, he brought that up. We'll scroll down towards the final lap, and we'll see there. Actually, he didn't get one. It was actually Trostedy who got a track limits. Not too sure, but we're seeing Kurt as well with a double warning. David with the double warning as well. I wonder if Codemasters has made a little bit of a mess up here, as we're seeing quite a few repeat warnings. But we'll leave that discussion for another day. If anything has happened in the sprint race, report it to the stewards with, I would say, sufficient evidence, and they might get the penalty revoked. But I should actually as well mention Scotsman. Oh, we've got a little bit of cloud cover above Silverstone, so
a little
we'll
bit of rain,
talk in
hopefully.
that. Potentially a bit of rain, but forgot to mention as well, out of everyone in that race, Scotsman, we usually do this. Our first race would have a sprint race standout. So for co-commentary, who would you give your vote to?
I would say Biddle.
There we go, short and sweet. So Biddley, that does not suit me, I do apologise. So Biddle will pick up the sprint race standout vote for the F2 British Sprint.
And I just think,
So,
like you say, he came from nowhere. He was just at the back. Where did he start? What position was he when he started? Was it about 12th or something?
I believe he was down somewhere around the midfield, I did remember, and get the screenshots as well.
Aye,
So,
I've got a screenshot as well, mate. But he was,
there we go.
he did, like I say, plodded on and just slowly got through the field. And like you
Yeah,
say,
Biddle
he
actually
ended up
started down in 15th.
15th. There you
Yeah,
go.
so our slowest qualifier ends up stealing a podium, but that means now he's got to do it all over again in the feature race. However, with a little bit more race distance and also a pit stop as well, potentially two, going off of the cloud cover, potentially good old faithful British weather could be all reliable and have a bit of rain in store for our race this evening.
Let's hope so. I know the drivers aren't hoping for the rain, but we are. We want to see spins, collisions.
Of course, we lucked out in the Tier 3 race without any rain, but Tier 1 and Tier 2, they had to put up with some pretty horrible weather. Actually, tell Lionel, I think it might have been Tier 1 only who had to go through some rain. But we did see as well that the rain could throw up a massively enthralling and thrilling race. And here's hoping that for our final race around Silverstone this week in FPRL, it's no different.
Yeah, Tier 3 was good. Sunny all for the qualifying and for the full race, which was good. 'Cause I never practiced any rain.
Indeed, the sun was shining in Tier 3, but it was doom and gloom for quite a few of us.
It looks a little bit
as we get underway.
murky.
Indeed it does. Looking on board with Cross today, it does look a little bit dark, so a bit of rain could be in store as we'll get our telemetry up for a race. And I think for the first time in quite a while, we've got a mixed tyre choice on the Formula 2 grid.
Oh, I've not looked at the tyres. See.
I've seen as well, we've got a few drivers on the hard compound tyres, and the rest are on the medium tyres.
Alright, so Revengezilla is one of the front runners. He's chose hards. All the rest is mediums. And then you've got Douchy on hard, David Lawface on hard, FPRL TS9 on hard, and a Bolly, or Bally. I would have thought Bally, but that's for another discussion.
I suppose where the border lies in that discussion, one pronounces it one way, the other one pronounces it another way. It's still spelled the same, just said differently. Indeed. Tomato, tomato. But making our way around tops now with Frost today, we'll run through the grid for tonight's feature race, and if you wouldn't mind, Scotsman, I'll take us through the grid for this one.
Yep, no worries, mate.
Oh, bit of a weird line there for Biddle, going around tops. Anyway, in 16th, once again, is the Hammer, of Bolly in that Sole Virtuosi starting on the hards, and Biddle hoping to make it 2 podiums this evening, but a lot of work to do in 15th, but does start on the mediums. Next few drivers on the hard compound tyres, we've got TS9 in 14th and David Lawface in 13th, and Diamond in the wars in the midfield, hoping to go long in the first stint this evening, starting on the hards in 12th. Then in P11 we've got Monkey Boy Kurt, but a bit of a lonely race in the sprint. It was more of a jog really for Kurt until the final few laps, and did steal a point in the end. Here's hoping for a few more for the Carlin. In 10th we've got our sprint race winner CTX in that Trident. 9th place we've got Ashe, hoping they fueled up for a little bit longer than the race distance this evening. In 8th we've got the Prema, the new recruit to the Formula 2 grid, a bit of a veteran as well, one would say, in Silverside Boy. In P7 we've got the Dams of Poya. 6th we've got the sister Prema of Lexus. In 5th we've got Revengezilla. In 4th we've got Shadows. P3 Collateral Ads, and on the front row this evening we've got the Charoux of Tornado in desperate need of points, especially after Austria. And on pole this evening is the Irishman of Crosstoday.
And 5 lights, and away we go. Take off, mate. Go, go, go.
Indeed, so no jump starts this evening, but it's a lightning start further back for Tornado. He's up alongside Crosstoday. And is he ahead of Crosstoday? Nope, they're still wheel to wheel here.
This is bum clenching.
Oh. going around Abbey now is Tornado. Crosstoday does more than shut the door on him. He slams it in the face of the Charoux, but now through Aintree onto the Wellington straight now. Crosstoday and Tornado. Verstappen and Hamilton vibes here in the Formula 2. Tornado is looking for the move on Crosstoday, forces the Trident a bit deep, going into Woodcut. He will hold the outside though, going around Luffield. That isn't really the preferred line. Just keeps it in line though, but he's going to lose out a bit of ground there. That's going to allow Collateral Ads to get all over the back of Tornado, with Shadows in 4th, Revengezilla in 5th, maintaining his place. A bit wide there in the background is Poya. Yep. And just going through tops now. A beautiful corner. Jump back to CTX.
Lexus is tight. Not Silverside Boy even.
CTX not making as much ground up in the feature race as he did in the sprint, but Poya losing a bit of ground as now fell back into the clutches of the Trident. Up the hanger straight now towards Stowe, and everyone almost pushing each other going around there. Just shows how close this pack is as we complete lap 1. And CTX, that is an almighty dive there from the Trident, almost getting past 2 cars, but Poya just puts the elbows out there and says, no thank you, you are not getting past. But Poya in return has actually fell down a few places and are now behind Diamond, so Poya is not liking that Vale chicane area of the track. They've lost out and are now down in 13th, but up at the front though, Crosstoday is anything but clear of Tornado. Collateral Ads in 3rd, almost pushing the Charoux, and now getting a better run on the Charoux out of Abbey through Aintree. But Crosstoday just has enough of a bit of a buffer now between the Charoux, but Collateral Ads heckling Tornado all the time, and these two got a bit too up close and personal last time out in Austria, and hopefully in the case of Tornado, history is not going to repeat itself.
Can I just butt in here? I think Revengezilla's actually holding up alright, because we've got to mind he's on the hards up there in the front with everybody with mediums. So, there's David Lawface picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He must be trying his wee heart out. Oh, Poya has took a 3-second time penalty as well. So back to Revengezilla. Yeah, he's on the hards and he's still keeping up. I think if he can keep this going for quite a while, then because everybody will need to pit before him. So yep, he'll be faster later on in the race as well.
Indeed, starting on the hards, and he's keeping up with the field. that will have the better tyres, and Tornado and Frost are getting very close to each other.
Crash in
As
sector
Poya
3.
further back. Oh, it's Poya again. They're just not liking this track. Not sure if that's setup related or Silverstone is just a very weak track.
Oh, and there's someone off.
Oh, who's that? Oh, it's Kurt! Kurt in the background is off around the final corner. I think they've just kept out the wall though, but that has really ruined the race. And Poya into the pits, so I don't know if that's for front wing damage, but Collateral Adds now sends it up the inside of Tornado, and they've got past the Charoos, and now Revengezilla as well, heckling Shadows, and Lex is trying to follow the MP Motorsport through, up towards Woodcut now. Revengezilla on those hard compound tyres, he doesn't want to be a moving roadblock for the field behind them. That's why Lex is to try and hold it around the outside through Luffield. It just isn't good enough though to get past, but the traction out of Luffield will allow the Prema to get right up that gearbox of the MP Motorsport. He's actually got a lift off there going through tops. He's that close to the back of Revengezilla, but up at the front as well, Collateral Adds and Trostody, they're renewing their fight from the sprint race, and Collateral Adds almost pushing that Trident through the Maggots Beckett's complex, through Chapel now, and onto the second DRS straight. Is it going to be a second overtake in the space of a lap for Collateral Adds? Trostody learnt his lesson from the sprint race, defending it to the outside now. Oh, round the outside. Collateral Adds, he does get the move done. That is an absolutely beautiful overtake from the high tech. Collateral Adds up into the lead of this
a little
race
update
around
on Monkey
Silverstone.
Boy Kurt when he spun round there. He's not got any end plate damage or anything like that, so I think he should still be good to go. His tyres might have been just a little bit roasting hot, but I think he's going to try and pick himself back up and get going.
Looking as well, Tornado, he has got his man there, so Trostody in the space of a few corners, losing out 2 places, and these two, they have to think of the bigger picture here. They cannot keep fighting, otherwise Collateral Adds is just going to break clear of that DRS threat. And speaking of DRS threat, Lex is looming large in Revengezilla's mirrors, but going through Woodcut, it's just not close enough now for the Prema. And up at the front as well, Trostody taking that wider line, that will allow him to get the traction down the old start-finish straight. But Lexus, Shadows, Silverside Boy having to defend now from Ashe. The MP Motorsport now up against the Prema. A bit of a roles reversed here. It's the Prema having to defend against the MP Motorsport. Ashe looking for a bit of a switchback there through tops. And now up to Maggots and Beckett's. Ashe, the wiser head, backs off, but CTX as well. And Biddle making up a few places as well. They're right behind this group. Oh, CTX as well with a 3-second penalty. So that's going to ruin their race result at the end, much like it did Collateral Adds. But CTX now and Ashe resuming their fight from the sprint race. And this time around, Ashe gets the better of the Trident. And still no movement yet in the pit lane, so it's still a bit too soon to make that first pit stop. You best believe though, Scotsman, when that first pit stop is took, the domino effect is going to be in full effect.
Yep, definitely. I wonder who's going to be the first one that's going to pounce on it. But the thing is it going to be possible for the medium runners just to go straight to softs? I think so, eh? Or do you think that the softs won't last long here?
I'm not too sure though. I'm not too sure if we do have any soft compound tyres available. But the opportunity is present though for Tornado against Collateral Adds. These two getting a bit up close and personal on track in Austria. And Tornado almost
Revengezilla has just
pushing.
overtook Lexus. I think they're still having a big, massive battle.
We'll stick though up at the front though between Collateral Adds and Tornado. We're seeing as well on the time graphic, Lexus and Revengezilla almost wheel to wheel, going down towards tops. Who will be the late breaker in that fight? But Tornado having to break early against Collateral Adds, but that will allow the run though for the Tornado. Oh, they made contact again!
Oh, there's a big crash.
Oh no! Massive
Tornado.
crash at the front. Tornado
And
getting a
Collateral
little
Adds.
bit. And 10 seconds for Tornado. It's just going from bad to worse, and he's re-emerged right in front. I think that was TS9 there, or Bolly. He's completely took the nose off of. So now Tornado, now with 10 seconds in penalties, CTX got caught up in the action as well. And David, from absolutely nowhere, Tornado.
No,
Tornado.
No.
No. And now Ashy, we mentioned as well, Ashy is now the first driver to blink, and they're in the pits as well with CTX. 5 seconds for CTX as well. Oh,
Tornado,
dear,
if you're
this
not
race...
happy, mate, you're meant to pull into the pits and retire.
I'm expecting quite a bit of confrontation between Collateral Ads and for Tornado at the end of this race, but that has just shown how close the fighting can be and how close it is to boiling over. But now we find ourselves in the unfamiliar position here, Trostry leading the race here with Lexus and Revengezilla still going at it. And like I said, the few laps ago, Revengezilla is just becoming a moving roadblock now for Lexus and Shadows. They're almost pushing that MP Motorsport towards the full duration of the lap as well, not even towards a particular corner. Going through tops now, we've seen as well Lexus, he just has so much better traction, but Revengezilla driving the widest Formula 2 car he can, but it's not wide enough. Lexus still to the outside of the MP Motorsport, he's just not getting enough of a gap. You just can't get past him.
With a 3-second penalty.
Up at the front though, 2 seconds between Crossery and Revengezilla, and Shadows sticking to the back of the Prema. And if I were one of these two here, I'd get in the pits now and get some fresh air, because that is exactly what Crossery has done. So Crossery, the net leader of this race, peels into the pits. So now Revengezilla, after starting in 5th on those hard compound tyres, leads them to start lap number 7. And we're seeing as well the domino effect is in full effect. The chain reaction has been set off. Crosstoday is pitted, Silverside Boy is pitted, Lexus is committed to that overtake on Revengezilla, going through Abbey now, but again he's stuck to the outside line. He just can't get the traction through these corners, but now through Abbey and Aintree to the Wellington Straight. Surely now this is Lexus's chance. DRS now, he's almost alongside the MP Motorsport to the inside. Goes the Prema. Revengezilla will try and hold it around the outside. Lexus forcing him wide, but Revengezilla still holds that inside line. This has been an enthralling fight between the pair of them, but Lexus, he just can't get past them. Going down the start finish straight now, Lexus still stuck to the outside line. Revengezilla to the inside, and Shadow's getting up in the fight as well, but Lexus with that switchback, he's been trying it for a few laps now. Wheel to wheel. Oh no! Revenge and a safety car.
Is it a safety car?
Revengezilla and Shadows, yet full safety car. So Revengezilla and Shadows.
Time penalty.
Oh no! In 3 laps here at Silverstone.
Is that a safety car? It's not coming up on my screen saying safety car.
It is a safety car. We see it just going through Abbey now at the bottom of your picture on the driver tracker. But surely now the safety car is going to trigger quite a few pit stops. We see as well Lexus, Diamond, TS9, Bolly, David surely is going to follow him in the pits. David, that's a bit late on the brakes there, mate. Just gets it stopped though. But actually, with this pit stop, are we going to see the hard compound tyre runners emerge in the lead of this race?
Monkey Boy caught with a 3-second time penalty.
This is actually a disaster for Trostry. Lexus, if I'm correct here, Lexus will take the lead of this race. Diamond potentially could be in 2nd, and TS9 could find himself in the podium places. But this race has been completely shaken up. Trostry making that pit stop a lap before Revengezilla and Shadows came to blows.
Ross Kelly's flying around there trying to get out in front. Oh, third.
He's got to back off though because of telemetry, and that's going to find him down in 4th. Ashy though will take 5th. Bolly's up in 6th. David from absolutely nowhere is in 7th, and Silverside Boy up in 8th. Biddle in 9th, and Collateral Ads He's down in 10th. What on earth has happened to this race? This is the equivalent of throwing everything. It's like the equivalent of a snow globe, shake it up, and it's just been absolutely. Oh my word, this has been completely reshuffled now. It's like we started in a random grid order. Well, I suppose nothing really more to say apart from Biddle and Silverside Boy getting a bit up close there. Silverside Boy retaking what was a fair 8th place from the ART. But Lexus, from absolutely nowhere, finds himself in the lead with Diamond in 2nd place. And we've seen as well from the positions graphic, Lexus started down in 6th, Diamond started down in 12th. And as well, TS9 up in 3rd, he started down in 14th. Oh my goodness. I do apologise though, ladies and gentlemen, we meant to keep it professional and not get too excited, but wow. In the space of 3 laps, we find ourselves with this running order. I mean, the safety car will peel into the pits at the end of this lap. It'll be a 6-lap dash to the finish line. Scotsman, if I were you to place any predictions on the finishing order,
I think Cross Kerry will still get. I don't know about the first, but I think he's definitely got to get a podium. Because we have TS9 with the 3-second penalty there, and he has been quite strong through the qualifying and the sprint race. So I do reckon Cross Kerry will be, if not first, he'll be second anyway. That's my prediction. Try to think who might. TS9 might stay up for 4th, maybe. I'd like to see him stay up anyway, because I'm rooting for him. But yeah, Ashy might pick up a couple of places. Yeah, but I definitely think Cross Kerry's either for the win or 2nd place here.
Well, that certainly is a prediction of sorts, but based on the first 7 laps here at Silverstone, you couldn't predict what would happen. So here's hoping that at least the final 6 laps, although not predictable, is not a complete surprise. But look as well at the penalties graphic real quick. We're seeing as well TS9 is carrying that 3-second time penalty, and then we saw as well from the sprint race he just couldn't keep the penalties down, so that could haunt him towards the end. We've got Bolly and David as well in 6th and 7th on 3-second penalties. Then we've got Kurt, CTX and Poya on 3 seconds as well. And as well, when Scotsman was giving their predictions, we saw that Poya was in the pits. I think that could have been for a new front wing change or for a tyre change. And actually, we'll look at that right now. And I don't think it was for a tyre change. It could have been for a front wing change for Poya, who goes back onto the medium tyres. But because of that pit stop, we will have one more lap under the safety car, so 5 laps when we get underway. I suppose with this interval, we should have a look and say, actually we'll have a look in the Twitch chat, as Shadows has gave their explanation to that incident with Revengezilla, saying that he shouldn't have made it 3 wide after tops. He was getting so impatient behind the pair of, I believe it was Lexus and Revengezilla, as Biddle gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. So I don't know what's happened with Biddle, and Poya once again in the pits. What is happening to the dams? I don't know what's going on there with Poya, but I suppose with this interval and
Maybe he's
and
going
Shadows
to retire.
says, yeah, I don't think Poya is going to retire, but that's going to leave them a long way behind the order. And no, it is for a tyre change, so they're going on another set of mediums to the end of this race. And Shadows, out of pure frustration, has said have that, and has redeemed a main comms and co-comms drinks redemption. So thank you for that, Shadows, and commiserations, mate. I was also going to mention as well that Lexus would have been getting infuriated behind Revengezilla. Finally got that overtake done, and in the end it just boiled over between yourself and Revengezilla. Both of our drivers out of the race, and we will have one more lap behind the safety car, which will be in at the end of this lap. 5 laps of final of. Go for it.
I was just saying it's got to come in, hasn't it?
Yeah, one more lap, and
you can hear
it will be
Toto
in,
shouting,
as I believe.
Mikey, that's not fair.
I think that might be from Poya's perspective, and indeed Race Control have listened, so they do now believe. Now is the time for the safety car in Shadows with a polite message in the chat. And massive thank you to that, Shadows, and I will get your drinks redemption sorted by the end of this race. You have my word. And Stotsman as well for a Totom's drink. I think you took care of that during the safety car.
Yeah, I'll take another one as well.
Well, we'll have a bit of a cooldown on that redemption before we can redeem that.
Oh, let's see.
And Lexus leads them through Vale, Diamond right behind them, so they have not wasted any time on this restart. And seen as well, I think Kurtz had a few problems getting into a collision with CTX. We saw them getting a bit up close towards the Vale chicane, but we lead. Lexus takes the lead though for lap number 11 of 15, the final 5 laps here at Silverstone.
3-second penalty.
And David, 3-second time penalty, so that's going to ruin their chance for points if things stand the way it is. But Lexus being heckled by the Tier 3 championship leader in Diamond. Hopefully for Diamond he can find that end product which Lexus just couldn't quite do. But seen as well here, Lexus I believe is on the hard compound tyres while Diamond is on the mediums. So roles are going to be reversed here, so instead of Lexus having to do all the attack, he's going to be the one defending against the medium runner. But going through the start finish straight now up towards tops, Lexus and Diamond, it's going to remain that order for the time being. Diamond trying to get the traction down out of tops like Lexus done to Revengezilla, but it's just not happening for them as Poya another 3-second penalty for the Dams driver. It's been a rather poor day at the office for Poya, but now onto the hanger straight now. Diamond ever closer. It's like a shark to the minnow of Lexus, and up the inside now goes Diamond going through Stowe to the inside. Gets the move done, he's a half a car length clear. And now up to the Vale chicane, Lexus with an almighty dive. He just can't quite get the move done. Lexus though for the switchback. Diamond tries to park it on the apex through the final corner. Just keeps it in check, but TS9 now's going to get the run on Lexus. Diamond does take the lead of the race on lap 12, and TS9, oh no, he's touched! TS9 with a slight bit of contact on Lexus, that is going to drop them right down the order at the threat of David Lawface. On Davis at problems as well!
What happened to David?
Oh, I think David might have made a collision with TS9 when they rejoined the track. But up at the front, Diamond started in 12th, is now up into the lead of this race. Lexus in second, and Crosstoday now up into the podium place, as I have been threatened by Shadows in the Twitch chat for that message of "Love you, Cruiser," is saying, "Say it back." No, I don't think I will.
He does love you,
Take
Shadow.
from that what you will.
He does love you.
I do respect you, mate. I respect Shadows and everything he has done.
But he fucking doesn't love you.
Anyway, back to the action though.
Shadow
The top 5
like
running
bitch.
clear.
Sorry, mate.
We do apologise for that bit of French there from Stotsman directed to Shadows.
CTX there, 3-second time penalty.
CTX down in 10th place, holding on to that final points place, and Silverside Boy having to hold on to 6th place here against a good friend of his, Collateral Ads. The two best friends, I would imagine, on track but off track, the most bitter of enemies, as we all are. And Collateral Ads finds his way past the Prema and is now up into 6th place. And now TS9, Collateral Ads' teammate, hoping to follow him through, as DRS has been enabled for lap number 13 of 15. 3 laps to go at Silverstone. Diamond is out of the DRS threat from Lexus and Crossery. If he wants to win this race, he's got to get this move done, I would imagine, on this lap.
Chapping on Silverside boys' back door. Let me in, let me in. Oh, a little bit of contact. As he hits the DRS, but Silverside boy has DRS at the same time.
Same as well, Silverside boy on 6 lap old hard tyres, TS9 on 5 lap old mediums. Of course, TS9 did make that pit stop under the safety car, so they are on the freshest tyres possible. It is just not enough to help them get past Silverside boy, who's defending very well here around the track he quite likes. But Diamond pulling ever more clear. The gap now 1.2 seconds between the ART and the Prema of Lexus, who's getting a bit of a DRS train here forming, as Ashley gets a 3-second penalty as well, so that's going to ruin their charge for a podium, along with Bolly in 5th, almost pushing Ashley around the complex. But Crossery, if he wants to win this race, or any chance of winning this race, he's got to get past Lexus, I would imagine now. Up towards Stowe now for the Trident, an almighty dive from the Trident, up against Lexus. The inside though is held by the Prema. Don't broadcast cam though for the run down towards Vale, and Crossery, oh, they make contact again! Bit of a barge though, and look at Ashley, he's doing his best Hamilton impression. Through goes Ashley up into 2nd place. He forces Lexus onto the grass. Lexus, an almighty switch though on the grass. But Ashley from 4th up to 2nd. Crossery finds himself still in 3rd with Bolly in 4th. Collateral Ads moving up into 5th. But that collision there between the Trident and I do apologise, between the Prema. It's so much to take in between the Lexus and the Trident. Diamond has that 3-second gap now ahead of Ashley, and Crossery, any chance of winning this race, it's now gone.
No, Crosskerry's going to take 2nd place because Ashley has a 3-second time penalty. So, and Bolly behind as he's got a 3-second time penalty as well. So Crosskerry has basically got like 3 seconds either way. So I think, like my prediction was, he was either getting 1st or 2nd, so it looks like he's getting 2nd just now, because Diamond is just flying away from Ashley now with a 3.1 second gap.
But as well though, Bolly heckling the back of that Trident as Kurt gets a 3-second penalty as well, down in 10th. But up at the front though, Crossery and Ashley. Deja vu here for Crossery, except this time the move is completed before the corner.
He does a little
just
bit wide.
Keeps it in check though. Just keeps it in check, keeps it in control. Oh, Ashley, it definitely was deja vu in a way. But Ashley now to the inside of the Trident as we start the final lap of this race. We're still going to be too wide here, down the Hamilton straight, up towards Farm. Who's going to be the late breaker?
Bolly's
Both
snipping.
of them still committed. But Bolly now, this is like this is a 6-car constructive fight here for
Bolly
2nd place.
Threaded that like a needle.
Gets a bit on the curb though, but that's going to allow Collateral Ads to get up right behind the Virtuosi. But in the final lap of this race, Diamond leads them away by 4.5 seconds. He is checked out of any trouble. Crossery finally up into 2nd place with Ashley and Bolly, and net 3rd and 4th. Before these time penalties, Collateral Ads in 5th, Silverside Boy in 6th, Lexus in 7th place with that time penalty as well. But we'll stick with this fight towards the final few laps. This has been an incredible race.
Crosskerry's shouting, "Why the F are you fighting me?" Because they've got 3-second time penalties, both Ashley and Bolly. So Crosskerry's pretty much going to be shouting, like, "Why are you fighting me? I've not got any penalties." But he could take one rogue corner and get a 3-second time penalty himself, so everybody's there to fight for it.
Indeed, fighting to the end is Bolly and Ashley. This is a fight for 3rd on the road.
Get
up towards Stowe, a very popular place to overtake. It's still wheel to wheel between the pair of them.
Duchesne's
but up at the front. Corner. Yep, up at the front, Diamond doing what he's had to do, and now another victory to the gallery and the catalogue for Diamond, except this time it's his maiden Formula 2 victory. Diamond Duchy wins the final race around Silverstone. The Formula 2 feature race. Crossley will take second and Collateral Ads makes up for the sprint and gets on the podium in third. Silverstone, thank you so much for 5 absolutely brilliant races. Wow, what a week actually, let alone what a race. What a week that Silverstone has given us. And just a massive thank you to Silverstone. 5 races to the catalogue and another victory to the catalogue in this season for Diamond Duchy, a multi-time race winner in Tier 3, but his first victory of the campaign in Formula 2. And we see as well the final standings. It wasn't any rain on track, but it certainly was quite a few storm clouds in the field, with Tornado falling victim to another collision with Collateral Ads. And then we've got Shadows and Revengezilla coming to blows at the exit of Cops. Between the pair of them, in the end, the fight was just escalated too much and both of them had to retire from the race. But Diamond can retire happy from his work shift at Silverstone. Another victory for Diamond, and they take their maiden victory. Crosstrey in second and Collateral Ads in third. Then we've got Silverside Boy up in fourth, making a bit of a habit for that position this season. Another fourth place for Silverside Boy. Lexus in fifth, Bolly from 16th and last on the grid up to 6th. Ashy in 7th, TS9 in 8th, CTX in 9th, and Monkey Boy Kurt in 10th. Well, Scotsman, for the final time around Silverstone, who would be your driver of the day?
I really don't know, man. There was that much that happened. I couldn't pick one there. Don't get me wrong. I think Crosscarry raced well. He was quite solid, but he's a dick. So.
Whoa. Unfortunately, we've got our driver interviews, so we will get our podium sitters from the feature race into a party, and hopefully they do pick up the call. So that would be Diamond, Crosstrey,
I'll get them in
and C and Collateral Ads. There we go. So, you want me to interview the third place and first place driver, or would you want to do that?
Have you got did you send Collateral Ads one as well, yeah?
Yes, I've sent them all in, right, so...
I'll do second.
You like to... Okay. Right, we'll get the ART up on screen. It's very weird, though, not having a Campos on screen. That used to seem Brookieman winning these races, but finally, for the first time, I think, since round 3... I'm not quite sure what round 3 was, pardon me, we'll have a look. I believe that for the first time since Zandvoort, we've actually had 2 different race winners across a Formula 2 weekend, so that is quite the run of form Brookieman has been on, but of course not here this evening, so that championship lead will be cut down. But tonight it's all about Silverstone and tonight's third place driver, Collateral Ads. Just a reminder, lads, if you'd like to include your audio or...
just text the box.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's happening here. We don't have any audio coming through for our drivers. That's quite...
That's because they're not speaking.
There! There. Well, not gonna lie, I thought all 3 of them forgot to tick the box and we couldn't hear them on the broadcast.
You would still
anyway,
be able to hear them.
Yeah. Well, there. Suppose doesn't matter. We've got there in the end. Collateral Ads, a good weekend all round, and rounded off with a third place around Silverstone. Well done, mate.
Thank you.
So, just gonna go through we'll go through the sprint race first. Seen as well with the safety car being brought out for a collision between Revengezilla and Shadows. I believe you already had made your pit stop at the time, or did you make your pit stop when the safety car came out?
No, I made it the lap before. It wasn't too bad.
Seeing as well, though, just we'll touch on that as well for the question. Seeing as well with the safety car coming out, in comparison, Crossley was just going through the Maddox and Beckett's complex. Did you think you were going to lose that many places in the safety car window, or did you think you had enough confidence to make it up in the race?
Well, I was running in first, wasn't I? Then I got Tornado hit me from behind, which put me to the back of the grid anyway. So I think I was about 10th after the collision. And I think I lost 2 positions in the safety car. But I knew I had good pace to try and get up there. I didn't expect to be on the podium. I was aiming for about 5th and 6th after that. Yeah.
And nothing really more, no more to add on, just all round a very strong performance for yourself. I believe that was a 4th place and a 3rd place around Silverstone, but moving on to the next week around Baku, we have seen as well that Baku can be quite the track for surprises, so you hoping to take this result forward into the next race?
Yeah, I kind of like Baku, and I did really well here last year in the F2. I think I won one of the races, but yeah, I kind of like Baku. It's all about setup though. You got to get your setup right. Yeah, it should be exciting. Another street circuit.
And there we go. So that will be Collateral Ads, our 3rd place feature race driver for the evening. Once again, a massive well done, and I'm sure Scotsman will echo my comments of a big well done for yourself. And now we'll move over to Scotsman, who's going to take us for an interview with our 2nd place driver, Cross today.
You alright, mate?
Right, buddy. You know what you're doing. Normally you're not on the podium, so you know these
No,
interviews
mate,
might
no,
be a touch and go.
I don't know nothing about interviews, mate. So talk me through your race. How are you feeling about that?
The feature, I thought I just got very unlucky. Just pitted a lap before the safety car, and just yeah, never
What was
had the
going through your
chance.
mind? What was going through your mind when the safety car came out?
It's not safe for stream. Let's say that.
It's alright, mate. I swear all the time, so it's all good.
Yeah, it was just pure another rage inside the head.
And then, oh god, I can't even mind who it was. Just near the last, was it TS9 and someone else was tight up your tailpipe.
Yeah, it was...
they had 3-second penalties, and were you pretty much like shouting, "What the fuck you doing?" Like back off a bit because they were really close to you.
I think you know yourself. You know, you see the people with the penalties. You still want to do it on track.
Aye.
So it got past TS9, no problem, but it was Lexus and Aisha, just 2 laps in a row. Just got tagged in the rear at the club. Managed to save it both times, which was very fortunate.
That was quite a close one. I actually thought that you were spinning right around at that point.
Yeah.
I think you had a good race. I was saying that I did think that you were going to be either 1st or 2nd, so you got 2nd. But no, I think you were solid. Even in the qualifying, the sprint, I sort of knew that you'd be on the podium anyway, mate. Not that I wanted you on the podium, but you know what I mean.
At least, look, this is the closest you're going to get to a podium, okay? Just take it while you can.
I will. I'll take it.
Oh,
This stream's just going to go a lot longer. I'll just stand here asking for world peace and all that shit next. So.
Oh, God.
But no, I think you raced well, mate. I think you deserved the 2nd. I actually think you might have deserved the 1st place, but I'm glad you got 2nd. I mean, right, okay.
Yeah. Quicker you shut up, the better.
Good race, buddy. All right, we'll move on. What are you thinking about next week?
Yeah, Baku, it's been a favourable track for me for the past couple of years. I know in the F1 I didn't really do pretty well, but I prefer these F2 cars, and to be honest, so
Aye.
I'm hoping to have the pace anyway, and we'll see how it goes
It's
from
not so bad
there.
when it's like with the driver like you, because you bump the people into the wall and that. wrecks a
It's
race
the only
and
way
just
you
lets
get
you
past
go.
them. You know
That's
that
it, mate.
yourself. When I
I
see
know,
them
mate. I
stewards
know.
reports of yours, it's Scotsman, Scotsman, Scotsman. At
Uh,
least you're learning from the best.
that's it, mate. That's it. But anyway, man, I'll congratulate you on that one through gritted teeth, and I'll pass it on. Nah, nice one,
Cheers,
mate.
buddy.
Right, man. Over to you,
Indeed.
Cruiser.
And thank you, Scotsman. And well done to Cross today. Second place in the feature and second place in the sprint race as well. So a good haul of points for the Irishman. That's going to help them in their championship fight. And now I find myself in the very rare scenario as well that I'm going to have to congratulate someone through gritted teeth as well. Diamond Douche, well done, mate. And I believe this is your first victory in the Formula 2 campaign.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Of course, making a habit of that in the Tier 3. Please stop, I want to try and catch up. Anyway, that's for another day. Formula 2. So, obviously, the safety car came out between Revengezilla and Shadows, and I bet if nothing, you were just saying, thank you, whatever higher power there was for that safety car, because you didn't make your pit stop yet in the race. I believe you started on the hard compound tyres.
Yeah. Because it was one shot and I had an absolute stinker. So I was at the back. There was nothing. I couldn't just go on the mediums and do what everybody else was doing. I had to go on the hards and try something different. And with the driving standards in F2, I had a feeling there'd be a safety car, and it came out at pretty much the perfect time.
Indeed it was, near enough, almost, one would say too perfect. But as well, going off of your qualifying, you knew you had a lot of work to do, so you did need that little bit of luck. But did you actually really think that luck would fall in the feature race, considering how the sprint race went?
No, because I had an awful sprint, and I was just gonna try and get, scrape a couple of points, and didn't think I'd be anywhere near as high up as I was.
And I think we'll keep it short and sweet and have our final question as well, and it's the same for our other two drivers. Moving on to Baku, obviously a track that I believe you fared quite well on in the Tier 3, so hoping to repeat that performance, I'm sure, in the Formula 2 car next week.
Hopefully so. Baku's a fun track, so it should be good.
And I think that will keep it short and sweet for the interviews, and that'll round out just all round a fantastic week of racing around Silverstone. Massive thank you, as I keep saying, to Silverstone for 5 brilliant races, drama up until the finish line, and that's why we all love Silverstone, both in the F1 game and in open world Formula 1. Big well done as well to Diamond once again. I'm sure Scotsman will echo on the feature race victory.
Yep, definitely, man.
And
Congratulations, mate.
And as well, without going unmentioned, CTX as well, the victory in the sprint race, so a big well done to them, and a Trident 1-2. I think that's actually the second time we've had a 1-2 in the Formula 2 this season. And that is going to round out tonight's broadcast for Formula 2 and FPRL this week. FPRL will be back this Wednesday as we head off to the Styrian Mountains and take on the Red Bull Ring in Austria. That'll be for the Tier 3 drivers, which will be yours truly and my fellow Scotsman friend, FPRL Scotsman.
I'm looking forward to that.
Certainly should be a good race. Of course, Austria never fails to disappoint in real world Formula 1, and I'm sure it will not fail to disappoint as well. And also, before we forget as well, we do have a sister league in TTL Racing, To The Limit Racing. They hold races on Monday and Tuesday, so be sure to check them out on their Twitch channel. And they start at the same time as we do, 8 PM UK time. And that'll be for the Monday and the Tuesday. FPRL will be back this Wednesday at the same time, 8 PM UK time, where our tier series head off to Austria, and FPRL will be back for the Formula 2 on Sunday, same time once again, 8 PM, as we take the band all the way over to the far east of Europe and take on the Baku Street Circuit. A few street circuits to come as well in the Formula 2 series, so keep your eyes out for that. And for our drivers, keep your eyes out for the barriers. That though,
Me included.
that though will be it. I think for all of us actually.
Yep.
That though is going to be it for tonight's broadcast. And again, a massive thank you to Scotsman for joining me for the first time actually in
Yep.
the commentary booth.
No worries, mate. No worries. I just hate doing it. I don't know the names of corners and stuff like that, but I think you've done a stellar job tonight. So, yep. Congrats to you, mate. That was a nice one.
Massive thank you, mate, and a massive thank you for joining me once again. So we have been the Scotsman team, and this has been Cruiser 1872. Thank you all for watching, and from all of us here at FPRL, good night.